Night was quiet, but not peaceful. Streetlights flickered like they were warning someone. And in that silence, a black woman named Maya Reed walked alone, calm and steady, as if nothing in the world could shake her. She held no weapon. She had no backup. But there was something in her eyes, cold, trained, unshakable. That was the moment 3 rookie officers turned the corner. They were young, nervous, and too eager to prove themselves. One of them, Officer Dalton, shouted, "Stop right there." His voice cracked. His hands trembled. But the gun in his hand didn't. Maya didn't stop. She just looked up slowly, and the rookies froze. They didn't know why. They couldn't explain it. But something about her silence felt dangerous. Dalton panicked. He stepped forward, raised the gun higher, and shouted again, louder this time. The other 2 rookies followed, unsure but pressured. Now 3 guns pointed at a woman who wasn't even scared. But Maya only sighed. "Children," she said softly. "Lower your weapons." Her calmness made the rookies furious. They thought she was mocking them. They thought she didn't understand the danger she was in. They thought they were in control. They were wrong. A cold breeze ran through the alley. Something metallic glinted under Maya's sleeve. One rookie noticed her posture, straight spine, balanced stance, hands relaxed. Too relaxed. "Ma'am, don't move," he shouted. Maya tilted her head. "If I moved," she said, "you wouldn't know until it was too late." Those words hit them like a punch. Dalton's grip tightened. Sweat rolled down his cheek. He didn't know why his breath quickened. But instinct whispered, "This woman is not normal." Then footsteps echoed behind them. A drunk man stumbled into the alley. He saw the guns and froze. Hey, why you pointing guns at her?" he slurred. Dalton panicked. He turned his gun slightly, just a second. That was all Maya needed. What happened next was too fast for them to understand. A blur. A twist. A snap. 3 guns hit the ground. 3 rookies were disarmed. And before they knew it, Maya stood behind them, calm, breathing steady, hands behind her back. How did she? Dalton couldn't even finish. Maya stepped forward, eyes sharp. "If I wanted to hurt you," she whispered, "you would already be unconscious." One rookie swallowed hard. Who are you?" She didn't answer. She simply picked up the fallen gun and handed it back, grip first, like a teacher correcting a student. But before she could walk away, the police radio crackled. "Dispatch. Be advised. A high-priority fugitive spotted near 8th Street. Last seen heading toward the alley." The rookies froze. The alley they were in. The alley where Maya was standing. The alley where she had just shown skill no civilian should ever have. Dalton whispered, barely audible, "Ma'am, are you the fugitive?" Maya didn't blink, but her silence was louder than any answer. And then she finally spoke, voice low and steady. "I'm not your enemy. But if you keep pointing guns at me, I might become one." The rookies stepped back. The alley felt tighter. And somewhere far away, a helicopter started moving toward their location. Something big was coming. And Maya Reed, the woman who didn't flinch, was right in the center of it. The helicopter blades roared above the city, cutting through the night like a warning siren from the sky. The rookies looked up nervously, but Maya Reed didn't move. She stood in the center of the alley, breathing slow and steady, as if the storm hunting her meant nothing. Officer Dalton finally found his voice. "Ma'am, whoever you are, if you're in danger, we need to know." Maya didn't laugh. She didn't smirk. She simply looked at him with tired eyes that had seen war, death, and darkness deeper than these rookies could ever imagine. "You're not ready to know," she said softly. Before the rookies could respond, their radios crackled again. "Fugitive confirmed to be armed and extremely dangerous. Approach with caution." Dalton's hands shook, but Maya? She barely blinked. In another second, the alley filled with bright white light. A searchlight from the helicopter dropped down on them like a spotlight on a stage. The rookies shielded their faces. Maya didn't. She stared straight into it. Then a voice boomed through the loudspeaker. "We have you surrounded. Hands where we can see." Maya exhaled slowly. "They're not here for me," she whispered. The rookies turned. Then who? A shadow moved at the end of the alley. Tall, broad, silent. Then another, and another. 3 masked men stepped out of the dark. They weren't police. They weren't civilians. They moved with precision, discipline, and lethal intent. The rookies instantly felt it, the same energy Maya had. Dalton whispered, "Who are they?" Maya's voice dropped to a cold whisper. "Ghost Unit, Black Ops. They don't bring fugitives in. They erase them." The rookies stepped back in fear, but Maya stepped forward. The masked men spread out, forming a triangle around her. They didn't speak. They didn't threaten. They simply watched her, as if waiting for a cue. One of them tapped his helmet twice. A green laser dot appeared on Maya's chest. Dalton panicked. "Get behind us." "They'll shoot." Maya shook her head. "If I run, you die. If I fight, they die. I choose neither." The leader of the masked trio finally spoke, his voice deep and metallic. "Reed, you should have stayed hidden." Dalton's jaw dropped. "Reed? Maya Reed? The Maya Reed?" But Maya didn't confirm it. Didn't deny it. The masked man continued. "You walked away. You were done, but you saw something you weren't supposed to. And now we're cleaning the mess." Maya calmly raised her hands halfway, not in surrender, but in control. "You point weapons at rookies now," she said coldly. "We trained better than this." The 3 masked men TENSED. Dalton whispered, "Wait, you trained them?" Maya didn't look at him. The leader stepped closer. "Move aside, Reed, or we'll take all 4 of you." The rookies felt their hearts drop, but Maya simply closed her eyes and breathed. The masked men reacted instantly. They lunged. 3 shadows moved at once. The rookies didn't even see Maya's hands. Only the sound, crack, thud, smack when their vision cleared. 2 masked men were on the ground, groaning, helmets cracked. The leader stumbled back, shocked. Dalton gasped, unable to understand what he just witnessed. Then Maya stepped forward, voice sharp as steel. "I said I don't want to fight." The leader steadied himself, fury in his voice. "You're still Navy SEAL, even if you pretend you're not." Maya's expression didn't change. "I walked away for a reason." Behind them, the helicopter lowered, louder now, closer, as if the whole city was watching the truth unfold. And then the leader said something that froze the rookie's blood. "We're not here to arrest you." He pointed at Dalton. "We're here for the rookie. He saw your face." The alley went silent. Dalton took 1 step back, breath trembling. Maya stepped between him and the leader. Her voice was calm. Deadly calm. "Then you'll have to go through me." The leader tilted his head. "That's the plan." The alley pulsed with danger. The helicopter above was descending lower, its searchlight trembling across the brick walls as if the entire city was holding its breath. The rookies clustered behind Maya, terrified yet unable to look away. Dalton's pulse hammered in his ears. The masked leader took 1 quiet step forward. "Reed, you don't understand. The rookie has something we need." Dalton blinked. "Me? I didn't do anything." Maya didn't turn around, but her voice sharpened. "Don't talk. They want fear. Don't give it." The leader raised 1 gloved hand. A hologram flickered alive above his wrist, grainy blue and pulsing with encrypted data. Dalton's chest tightened. It was him. His face, earlier that day, holding a small black cube-like device. The one he accidentally picked up at a crime scene, thinking it was evidence. Maya's eyes narrowed. Where did he get that? The leader smirked under the mask. "He secured it before our cleanup team arrived. He didn't know what it was, just thought it was trash, a broken gadget. But it contains classified intel. Intel we cannot allow any rookie to walk around with." Dalton swallowed. "What's in it?" The leader's answer chilled every bone in the alley. It's a kill code, Reed. A global one. Maya's expression didn't change, but the air around her shifted. The rookies felt it. A storm inside her that had been sleeping woke up. Dalton, she said quietly, do you still have the device? Dalton hesitated, then slowly nodded. It's in my locker. The leader's voice hardened. Then you're coming with us. Maya took a single step forward, blocking their path completely. No, he isn't. One of the fallen operatives began to rise, staggering to his feet. The other crawled toward his weapon. The leader didn't even look at them. His focus stayed on Maya. You walk away once, he said. You don't get to walk away twice. Behind Maya, the rookie officers were trembling, but something else was happening too. They weren't just scared of the masked men anymore. They were in awe of her, the woman who stood still while 3 guns were pointed at her. The woman who disarmed elite operatives like swatting flies. The woman who now guarded them like they mattered. Dalton whispered, "Why are you protecting me? You don't even know me." Maya finally spoke to him, not breaking eye contact with the leader. "I know enough. You didn't run. And you didn't pull the trigger." The leader snapped his fingers. 2 more masked operatives dropped down from the helicopter, silent, swift, and heavily armed. They landed like wolves circling prey. Dalton's breath caught. "We're dead. We're actually dead." Maya whispered, "Stay behind me and breathe. Only breathe." Then everything went silent. The helicopter blades slowed. The city noise muted. Even the wind seemed to pause. The leader raised his hand. The 5 operatives moved as one straight at Maya. Dalton squeezed his eyes shut, but the moment the first operative reached her, Maya vanished. No sound. No blur. Just gone. Dalton's eyes flew open. Maya was behind the operative, hand gripping his arm, twisting it until his weapon dropped. In one move, she spun him into the second operative, sending both crashing into the wall. The leader lunged, drawing a blade. Maya blocked him with her forearm, sparks flying as steel scraped against a hidden metal brace beneath her sleeve. Dalton gasped. "She's wearing combat gear under normal clothes?" One of the rookies whispered, "She's not just a Navy SEAL. She's something else." Maya kicked the blade out of the leader's hand, sending it skidding across the concrete. The masked operatives pulled back, regrouping for the first time. They looked afraid. The leader snarled, breath unsteady, "Reed, you can't win forever." Maya stepped closer, her voice low and lethal. "I don't need forever." She pointed at Dalton. "I just need long enough for him to disappear." Dalton froze. "Me, where am I supposed to go?" Maya didn't blink. "Somewhere they can't follow." The leader straightened, voice dripping with threat. "He belongs to us now." Maya's eyes turned cold. "No, he belongs to me." The rookies felt the ground shift, because that sentence, that one sentence, changed everything. Dalton felt the air change the moment Maya said those words. "He belongs to me." The alley went still. Even the masked operatives hesitated. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't a declaration. It was a promise, sharp, cold, and final. The leader steadied himself, cracking his neck. "You think you can take a rookie and outrun us? We trained you, Reed. We know your every move." Maya didn't blink. "No, you trained who I used to be." Before the rookies could understand what that meant, Maya turned sharply toward them. "Dalton, you're coming with me, now." Dalton stammered. "But I can't leave my partners." Maya cut him off. "If you stay, all 3 of you die. If you run, only they'll chase you." The rookies swallowed hard but nodded. They understood. They were scared, but they trusted her more than the men with guns. The helicopter roared overhead, lowering further. A rope dropped. More operatives were preparing to descend. Maya grabbed Dalton by the collar. "Move," she sprinted, pulling him with her. The rookies shouted behind them. but Maya's focus was razor sharp. With a single kick, she broke open a rusted maintenance door and shoved Dalton inside. Down the stairs. "Don't look back." Dalton's voice cracked. "What about you?" Maya didn't answer. She slammed the door shut. And the moment it closed, bam! A masked operative crashed into it from the outside. Maya twisted his arm, slammed him to the ground, and the fight erupted in the alley again. Dalton stumbled down the dark staircase, the sound of fists, grunts, and metal scraping echoing above him. Every instinct told him to go back. But her words echoed louder. "If you stay, you die." The stairwell opened into a narrow tunnel. Pipes hissed overhead. It smelled like rust and old secrets. Dalton followed the path blindly, heart pounding, lungs burning. Behind him, footsteps. "Maya?" He called out. No answer. The footsteps were heavier. Dalton froze. A voice echoed through the tunnel, cold, controlled, and far too close. "Rookie, you can't run from us." Dalton spun. The masked leader stepped into the dim light, alone, calm, like a wolf confident in the kill. Dalton backed up until his shoulder hit a pipe. You said you wanted the device." "It's in my locker. Take it." "Just leave me alone." The leader shook his head slowly. "It's not the device you carry. It's the memory of the device. You saw it. You touched it. You can't unknow what it is." Dalton's knees almost buckled. "You're going to kill me." The leader tilted his head. "Eventually. But first," he raised his hand, "your bait." A shadow dropped behind him. The leader reacted instantly, spinning with precision, but he was too late. Maya hit him like a storm. Her elbow slammed into his mask. The tunnel echoed with the crack. The leader staggered but recovered fast, sweeping low, trying to catch her legs. Maya jumped, rolled, and slammed him into the wall with a controlled strike to his throat. Dalton stared, speechless. "Maya, how did you?" "I told you," she said without looking at him. "Breathe." The leader wheezed, but he wasn't done. He grabbed Maya by the wrist, trying to twist, but she broke free and struck his ribs, once, twice, fast and brutal. The leader gasped, falling to one knee. Maya stepped forward, pinning him with her forearm. "Call them off." The leader coughed blood but smirked. "You think you can hide him? There's nowhere in the country we can't reach." Maya's expression darkened. "That's why we're not staying in the country." Dalton's jaw dropped. "What? Where are we going?" Maya grabbed Dalton's arm and yanked him down the tunnel. "We're going," she said, "to the only place they trained us to never return." Dalton swallowed. "What place?" Maya didn't look back. The Black Tide safe house. Dalton had never heard of it. But the way the leader's eyes widened told him everything he needed to know. Even the ghost unit feared that place. Dalton had no idea where. Maya was dragging him, only that the tunnel grew narrower, colder, and darker with every step. The sound of distant gunfire echoed behind them. The ghost unit was regrouping. They were coming. Maya's grip on Dalton's arm was unshakable. "Keep moving. Don't slow. Don't think." Dalton could barely breathe. "What is the Black Tide safe house? Why did the leader look terrified when you said that?" Maya didn't answer. She couldn't because the truth itself was dangerous. After several turns and a metal ladder climb, Maya pushed open a hatch. They stepped into an abandoned subway platform. Old posters peeled from the walls. Rusty rails stretched into darkness. A gust of cold wind rushed past them like a warning. Dalton looked around. "This place is empty." Maya scanned the shadows. "That's the point." She led him across the platform, then knelt beside a cracked tile. Her fingers moved across the floor, tapping 3 times, pausing, then twice more. A click echoed beneath them. The tile slid aside. A hidden keypad rose from the floor. Dalton blinked. "You have a secret base under the city?" Maya entered a long code too fast for Dalton to follow. The ground rumbled. A section of the wall rotated open, revealing a dark hallway lit only by a faint blue glow. Inside, Maya ordered. Dalton stepped in hesitantly. "Is this legal?" Maya's voice turned cold. "It's not supposed to exist. That's why it's safe." The door sealed behind them with a heavy metallic thud. Dalton felt his chest tighten. They were officially off the map. The hallway led to a large steel door labeled Black TID, E-access revoked in faded white letters. Next to it, a scanner blinked red. Dalton frowned. "You're sure this place is abandoned?" Maya placed her hand on the scanner. It turned green instantly. "Abandoned," she said quietly. "Doesn't mean forgotten." The steel door rumbled open. Inside was a vast chamber with dim lights flickering overhead. Old computer terminals lined the walls, covered in dust. Lockers stood open, as if people had left in a hurry. A giant tactical board dominated the center, still showing faded mission markers. Dalton stepped forward slowly. What happened here?" Maya walked past him, eyes scanning every corner. This was the first training ground for Ghost Unit, long before the government disowned it. They built soldiers here, broke them here, rebuilt them into something else. Dalton swallowed. "So you were trained here?" Maya didn't answer. Her silence said enough. She approached a locked cabinet. A metal tag read, "Read, M Clearance Omega." Dalton felt chills crawl up his spine. "That's your locker?" Maya typed a long code. The cabinet opened with a hiss. Inside were faded dog tags, old combat gloves, a tactical belt, and a black case with a dangerous-looking biometric lock. Dalton stepped back. "What's inside that?" Maya looked at the case as if it held her past and her demons. "A file," she said quietly. "A file that explains why the Ghost Unit cannot let you live." Dalton's breath stopped. "Me? What did I do?" Maya placed the case on the table. "You didn't do anything. But you saw something that connects to what's inside this." She pressed her thumb on the lock. The case opened. Inside was a small silver data chip. Dalton frowned. That's it?" Maya shook her head. "This chip holds the original version of the kill code you accidentally found at the crime scene. Not the copy. Not the decoy. The real one." Dalton felt dizzy. Why would they hide something like that here? Maya exhaled slowly. "Because I was the only operative who refused to complete the mission linked to that code." Dalton's eyes widened. "What mission?" Before she could answer, boom. The entire safe house shook. Lights flickered violently. Dalton staggered. "What was that?" Maya grabbed him. "They found us. They breached the outer tunnel." Another explosion rocked the walls. Maya shoved the chip into her vest. "Dalton, listen to me. If they get this chip, thousands die. And if they get you, they learn that I still have it." Dalton's voice trembled. "What do we do?" Maya drew a hidden knife from her boot. "We do what Black Tide was built for." Footsteps thundered in the hall behind them. Heavy. Many. The Ghost Unit was inside. Maya stepped forward, eyes turning sharp and deadly. "We fight." The lights inside the Black Tide safe house flickered wildly, sending shadows dancing across the metal walls. Dust drifted from the ceiling as another explosion echoed through the old tunnels. Dalton pressed his back against a locker, trembling. Maya stood in the center of the room, calm as ever, gripping her combat knife like it was an extension of her hand. The silver data chip was hidden in her vest. Her eyes were locked on the door. Dalton swallowed hard. "They're really coming in here." Maya nodded. "They're not stopping until one of us is dead." Dalton's heart flipped. Why go so far? Why not just take the chip? Maya didn't move. Because the chip isn't the dangerous thing. Dalton frowned. Then what is? Maya finally looked at him, her voice low. Me, before Dalton could react, boom. The steel door buckled inward. Dust burst across the room. Maya stepped forward. "Stay behind the tactical table," she ordered. "And don't move unless I tell you." Dalton dropped behind the table, clutching his knees, barely breathing. The door finally blew off its hinges, and the ghost unit poured in. 5 operatives. Full armor. Night vision visors glowing green. Rifles raised. Dalton ducked deeper. One operative barked, "Reed!" "Surrender." Maya didn't answer. She moved faster than the rookies had seen. Faster than the masked leader expected. Faster than any sane person should move. In 1 second, she crossed half the room. In the next for the operatives, it was too late. Her knife hit the first operative's wrist. Precise. Brutal. The rifle clattered to the floor. She flipped backward, kicking another square in the visor. Glass cracked. She slid across the floor, sweeping the legs of the third. Metal armor slammed onto metal ground. Dalton watched with wide eyes. She wasn't fighting like a normal soldier. Her movements were too controlled, too sharp, too efficient. Almost rehearsed. The masked leader emerged from behind his team, jaw clenched. "Reed!" he shouted. "Stand down. You're not cleared to use that level of combat response." Dalton peeked from the table. "That level, what does he mean?" But Maya didn't answer. She didn't even slow. She elbowed the 4th operative, grabbed his rifle, twisted it in her hands, and fired 2 shots. Precision hits to disable armor, not kill, the leader snarled. "She's operating at Tier 0 protocols." "That's classified." Dalton blinked. "Tier what?" The leader charged out. Maya met him halfway. Their clash was terrifying. 2 ghosts colliding. Fast. Violent. Silent. Dalton watched helplessly as they exchanged blows, knife against gauntlet. Boot against chestplate. Fist against steel. The leader grabbed Maya by the throat and slammed her into a locker. Dalton lurched up. "Maya!" Her response was chilling. She smiled. Then she twisted his wrist, broke his hold, and drove her knee into his ribs. The leader gasped, dropping to one knee. "You left the program," he choked. "But the program never left you." Maya's breathing was steady. "You shouldn't have come after the rookie." Dalton stepped out from behind the table, just a bit trying to help. "Maya, what can I do?" She didn't look at him. "Stay alive." The remaining operatives regrouped, forming a circle around her. The leader rose shakily, pointing at Maya. "She's not SEAL level, rookie," he hissed. "She's the prototype." Dalton froze. "What? Prototype?" The leader lifted his visor, revealing cold, furious eyes. "She's the last survivor of Project Blacktide. Enhanced reflexes. Memory conditioning. Pain suppression. You think we trained her? We built her." Dalton stepped back in shock. Maya's jaw tightened. "I ended that project. And I'll end anyone who tries to restart it." The leader laughed bitterly. "You already did. But the chip holds every secret needed to rebuild it." Dalton felt the room tilt. "So that's why you want me dead?" "Because I touched the code." The leader nodded. "You're the only outsider to ever access it." The operatives raised their weapons. Maya stood between them and Dalton. And then, sudden alarm blared throughout the facility. A mechanical voice spoke. "Warning, Blacktide self-destruct protocol activated." Dalton's eyes went wide. "What self-destruct?" Maya whispered. "They triggered it." The leader smirked. "No one leaves this place, Reed. Not you. Not him. Not the truth." Dalton felt panic grip his throat. Maya tightened her grip on her knife. "Watch me." She grabbed Dalton by the arm. "Run?" The alarm blared through the Blacktide safehouse, echoing like a death sentence. Red lights flashed across the metal walls. The floor trembled with each distant blast as the self-destruct countdown began. Dalton felt the ground vibrate beneath his boots. "Maya, we were trapped." Maya didn't look back. "No, they are." She sprinted down the hallway, dragging Dalton behind her. Steel pipes burst overhead, raining sparks. Emergency doors slammed shut one after another. The ghost unit operatives scrambled to follow, but the collapsing ceiling slowed them. The masked leader shouted through the smoke, "Reed! There's nitrogen monoxide escape route left." Maya didn't pause. "That's what you think." They reached a massive blast door, its edges glowing from heat. Dalton's voice cracked. "This way is blocked." Maya placed her palm on the old keypad. Dust fell. The door didn't even budge. "It's dead." Dalton panicked. Maya exhaled. "Not if you know the override." Her fingers danced across the keypad faster than Dalton could follow. A hidden panel slid open. Maya pressed her thumb against it. A metallic voice responded. "Black Tide Commander, read Maya. Override accepted." Dalton froze. "Commander." The blast door groaned and opened just enough for them to squeeze through. Dalton stared at her. "You weren't just part of Black Tide. You led it." Maya didn't deny it. "I buried this place because no soldier deserves what was done here." They entered a dark chamber filled with broken training pods and cracked monitors. It looked like a graveyard of experiments. The floor shook again. Louder. Dalton nearly fell. "We don't have much time." Maya crossed the room to a locked crate with biometric scanners. "It's not about time. It's about truth." She opened the crate. Inside were dozens of silver data chips identical to the one she took earlier. Dalton's eyes widened. "There are more." "No," Maya said quietly. "These are blanks. The chip I saved is the only one holding the original kill code." Dalton looked confused. "Why save it at all? Why not destroy it?" Maya closed the crate. "Because destroying it wouldn't erase what Ghost Unit already knows. But keeping it means I control where the truth goes." Dalton exhaled shakily. "So why protect me?" Maya finally turned to him, really turned. "Because you're the only person who touched the kill code and didn't treat it like a weapon." The safe house shook violently, knocking them both to the ground. A shadow appeared in the broken doorway, the masked leader. His armor was cracked. His visor shattered. Blood streaked his face, but his determination burned hotter than the fires creeping through the walls. "Maya Reed." He growled, raising a pistol. "It ends today." Maya stepped in front of Dalton. "You trigger that weapon, we all die." The leader coughed, smiling through the pain. "We're all dying anyway." He fired. Dalton squeezed his eyes shut, but Maya moved faster. She shoved Dalton aside, dropping to one knee as the bullet struck the metal behind her. She launched forward, slamming her shoulder into the leader. His pistol flew out of his hand. The two crashed into a burning support beam. Dalton watched in horror as they fought. Maya's precision against the leader's brute strength. Fists, elbows, sparks. Fire. The leader grabbed Maya by the throat, pinning her against the wall. "You think you saved these rookies? You doomed them. The moment they tell anyone you exist," Maya snarled, her voice raw, "they won't tell anyone." She twisted his arm hard. The leader screamed. Maya slammed him into the ground. Then everything stopped, because the ceiling above them began to collapse. Maya grabbed Dalton's hand and sprinted toward the emergency shaft at the end of the chamber. Dalton gasped. "Where does this lead?" Maya pulled a lever. The floor beneath them shifted. A sewer outflow tunnel. Old design. Ghost Unit never mapped it. Dalton looked back. The leader was crawling toward them, eyes burning with hatred. "Maya." "He's coming." Maya shoved Dalton into the shaft. "You first." The leader lunged. Maya kicked the lever. Whoosh. The shaft door slammed shut between them. Dalton slid down the dark tunnel. Screaming her name, behind him, a massive explosion ripped through the safe house. Fireball roared through the tunnels. Dalton tumbled out onto cold concrete, coughing, shaking, covered in dust. The tunnel behind him collapsed. "Maya! Maya!" he shouted, voice breaking. Silenced. Only smoke drifted through the cracks. Then, a hand burst through the broken debris. Dalton froze. Breath gone. Maya dragged herself out, bruised, burned, bleeding but alive, barely. She looked at Dalton, exhaled shakily and said, "Told you. Stay behind me." Dalton laughed through tears. Sirens echoed in the distance. "Police, fire, rescue." Dalton whispered, "What now?" Maya looked at the horizon. "We disappear. And we take the truth with us." Dalton nodded slowly. "Where to?" Maya stood tall despite the pain. "Somewhere the ghost unit can't follow." She handed him the silver chip. "From now on, you're not a rookie. You're my partner." Dalton held the chip carefully, almost reverently, and together, they stepped into the night, leaving the burning ruins of Black Tide behind.